Winners win, losers lose. Guys, it's Rick Ginn. In this video, I'm going to break down the difference between a winner and loser. If you understand this concept, it is the difference between being a wildly successful wholesaler and just quitting the business. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe notification button so you can continue to receive the best up-to-date information on wholesaling today. So I said it, winners win, losers lose. And you have to understand, you only lose when you quit. The truth of the matter is a lot of wholesalers start out with the try mentality, or if this happens or this happens, they use condition statements. And honestly, if you're going to start wholesaling like that, you might as well just quit. Remember, you only lose when you quit. The reality is when I started out wholesaling, I was a terrible loser when I started it. It's just the truth. I sucked so bad in the first really 3 to 6 months. The only difference of why I'm sitting here 20 years plus later is I didn't quit. Guys, honestly, it's the only difference between a winner and a loser. So what I want to do is take this video and break down the components of how you can stay a winner in this game and the steps you have to take so you don't quit. And guys, please, you're not going to start out as a rock star. This is the phenomenon that's told to you by every guru in the business. You're going to suck in the beginning and it's okay, but you get better every day. And the key is, if I can show you in this video how not to quit, I've given you the correct message. So let's dive into it. Most of you get started in wholesaling because you saw a video, and maybe you saw a video from me and Zach, maybe you saw it from somebody else. You know what? Whatever got you in the game, I'm okay with it. I'm actually really excited for you. The reason you're here is probably you got so motivated and inspired by someone's video that you go, listen, this could change my life. This is what I need. And that's awesome. You have to understand it's just motivation. It's a spark. So it's like a spark plug. You've started a spark. Now you have to get gas and you have to create an engine. Motivation alone probably kills more wholesalers than any other step in the process. And remember, motivation is the part that just got you excited. It stimulated your thought process, and it's probably what led you to this point. But we have to go past motivation. Motivation's temporary and it's going to fade. To be honestly true, 90% of the people start at motivation and end at motivation. Let's move on to the next step to show you how to progress so you never quit wholesaling. So I'm going to give you 5 steps to make sure you never quit wholesaling. If you stick to these 5 steps, you will always be in wholesaling. You don't have to quit it. So step number 1 is confidence. The crazy part about this is you have to act as if you have confidence, and the reality is you don't. It's just the truth. You're going to start out and not have confidence. The key to understand building confidence, it cannot be based on once I do 1, 2, or 3 deals. You have to learn to be confident up front. The only way you do that is you have to learn with practice. Number 2, your job as a wholesaler is to find people that have a high motivation to sell their property and you're solving a problem for them. It doesn't mean you have to understand every aspect. I had no idea how to do probates. I was clueless on foreclosures. I didn't understand how an eviction works. Honestly, I didn't even understand a HUD or a closing statement until my 5th or 6th deal. You've been taught in school to understand everything perfectly before you start it. The reality is, in the business world, is you have to move forward in spite of, meaning you have to act confident. Now, here's a little secret in confidence. You do have to act as if you have confidence because everybody started at 0 deals. I did, Zach did, and most likely you're watching this video is. So if you use freewholesaling.com to get your education and information, the key is study that information. It's important, but you have to act on it. And the physical act of doing your stuff, answering questions, going on appointments, that's what's going to build your confidence. You're not going to get it from a book. You're not going to get it from free wholesaling. You are going to get it from actually taking the action. And when you come across a question, I don't want you to lie, and I don't want you to fake it till you make it. That is the biggest crock line. I want you to go, listen, you know what? I don't know the exact answer, but I have somebody on my team. Let me get that information, and I use that as a builder for a follow-up appointment. See, if you don't lie, you don't have to remember all the crap you say. And honestly, you'll be more respected if you just tell the truth. It doesn't mean you're not going to help them. It's just you're going to get an expert to help you out at it. Remember, your job is to find and seek motivated sellers. It's not to understand everything in real estate. The truth of the matter is wholesaling is about dealing with people and their problems. The real estate is just a mathematical equation. So if you understand that, it's much easier to build your confidence. Going on to step number 2 is persistence. And And I got to tell you, this is the one you have to master to avoid being a loser in wholesaling. And what do I mean by that? Persistence is just your ability to get back up when you get knocked down. You have to have the conviction in your mind, body, heart, and soul that when I get knocked down, I'm going to get back up. And it's not if you get knocked down. I guarantee you're going to get knocked down. Do you have the guts to get back up and do it again and get knocked down again? Honestly, if you get knocked down 1,000 times, if you get back up, you're a winner because you don't quit. Most people in society, they get knocked down, they run and cry, and they just like, well, oh God, I can't do this anymore. You're different. You are that special 3 to 5% of society that just does not want to accept the norm. To avoid quitting or the temptation of just going back to your old self, you have to build a persistence muscle. The easiest way to do it is your conviction. Your conviction says, no matter how many times I get knocked back down, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to figure out wholesaling at any cost. And if you can have that conviction, your persistence is the ability to stand back up no matter what. I don't care if 100 people are standing on top of you, find a way to get back up. You're going to have all sorts of objections when it comes to wholesaling, and you have to go through the fire. For you to go through the fire and not quit, your persistence cannot waver. If you made 1,000 cold calls and got nothing, is your persistence going to let you do another 5,000 calls, or are you just going to go to the quit factor? Persistence, it is everything in wholesaling, and honestly, persistence is the only reason I'm talking to you today. Guys, there is not much that hasn't been thrown at me. Lawsuits, I've had properties burned down, I've been sued by partners, I've had everything that happens, but guys, I've made a ton of money doing it, and honestly, I've had a few bad moments, but I don't let them take me down. If I quit every time I had a bad moment, it's over. I get back up. Persistence is the key to not quitting the wholesaling business. Step number 3, we're moving on, is willpower. Now, I know what you're going to say about willpower, but willpower is what you have to use up front to get temporary discipline. Why? Because you got to force yourself to do something. It sucks. So if you're committed to make 500 cold calls a day, you have to kind of force yourself. Number 1, you're not used to it. Number 2, it's wildly uncomfortable, and you're not going to get the outcome unless you get through it. The only way you start a pattern is you have to start with willpower. So remember, we started at motivation. Hey, I'm all excited. Then we built our confidence. Hey, we're going to do it. The next one is we decided, hey, I'm going to be persistent no matter what. And now willpower. We're going to manually force ourselves to do it. Understand it's temporary because you have to create a habit and you have to do it consistently for, in my opinion, at least 30 days before you have a shot to move on to the next step. So understand willpower is the temporary implementation of a strategy, and you have to do it. And it's going to feel uncomfortable and wildly forcible, but there is a purpose to do this because it's brand new to you. You don't have a natural habit, which leads me to number 4. Willpower will transfer to number 4, which is discipline. And after you do something at least 30 days nonstop, religiously, and you don't stop, your willpower will turn in what we call discipline. And discipline is just doing habits consistently without thinking about it. But in order for you to get there, you have to do willpower. Most people try to use willpower forever. If you use willpower for the first 3 to 4 weeks, 30 days is what I recommend, it'll eventually become a habit. Think about it. If you ever work out, I love to work out. And the reality is when I didn't work out and I went a long time without working out, I had to willpower myself. I got motivated. I got some basic confidence. I willpowered myself. I wanted to quit almost every day because it hurt. But after a month, if I missed a day working out, I felt exposed. I felt like I was missing something. That's discipline you build within yourself. That discipline becomes a habit. And if you have the right habits every day in your life, you can change the outcome of your life drastically. Guys, you have to have discipline. And once you develop that discipline, stick to it. Stick to the stuff that works, and then you build upon your discipline. And coming in at number 5, which I will always preach this to you because to me, it's without it, you can't be successful in wholesaling. You have to lose your ego. Honestly, the amount of bragging I see going on the internet is just insane. So like some of it, you got to filter through it. A lot of it is people just trying to sell you, and I get it. You're only going to get the good side of the business, and the reality is you have to understand everything you're getting to it. So for you to truly learn anything in life, including wholesaling, is you have to put your ego at the door. Your ego is wired in you. Everybody has it. I have one. My son has one. You have one if you're watching this video. I'm here to tell you, tell me if this rings true with you. When you think you're right, you have to be right, and you will do anything to be right in that conversation to prove to your subconscious mind what you're doing is a correct action. The reality is you don't even know if it's a correct action, but you've made up in your mind through your ego, which manages your subconscious, that you're going to be right at any cost. And understanding if you're employing your ego constantly, which is human nature, number 1, you can't listen to any input because you have to be right. The only way you can do it is you have to be receptive. You have to open your ears, which is going to open your mind, which will then allow you to evaluate. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you take in everything and you take it as truth. But if you think you're always right and you always have it figured out, I'm on my 21st year of wholesaling. I have to learn a lot. And the only way I can learn is I check my ego at the door. I start every day like I'm broke. Honestly, I do. How am I going to make money this week, this month? Now, I'm in it for the long haul, but I'm here to tell you is the only times I ever got in trouble in wholesaling is when I thought I had it all figured out. And anyone who thinks they have everything figured out in life, I just stay away from people like that. They're not going to help you. Honestly, to the day you die is another chance for you to increase your knowledge and your brain's capacity to learn. And if you can take that embracement all the way to your old age to the day you die, then that's how life works and that's how you want to accomplish it. You have to understand, lose your ego, man. Like, I don't know how else to tell it to you because I see more ego take people down than any of the other things I've explained to you. So guys, in this video, I gave you 5 ways to make sure you stay a winner and don't become a loser. And remember, it's completely up to you. You only lose when you quit. So how do I avoid being a loser? Don't quit. And I'm here to tell you, it seems really challenging in the beginning, but in the end, if you stick it out and you don't quit, you are a winner. Let me start you out. Even though you feel like a loser when you start wholesaling, you are a winner. The only way you screw it up is you quit. So I want you to understand that. Listen, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe notification button to receive the most updated information from real authentic wholesalers that are going to give you the truth. Guys, I appreciate you and I'll see you in the next video.